Interviews deleted, censored, and buried deep.
They entered his cave. What they found in there was flying discs and little gray guys, and it's been in secret archives ever since.
What secrets were too dangerous to air?
There are non-prosaic cases, 100% unexplainable. This is like tangible technical craft they're seeing. We're definitely not alone.
We're talking about the biggest secret in human history.
Yeah.
Get ready to hear what was never meant to be heard. Let's begin with this one.
Bob, for the benefit of our viewers, someone out there that doesn't know who you are, tell us who you are, give us your credentials and where you've worked.
Well, I'm a physicist and a scientist. I've worked at various government institutions, one of them being Los Alamos National Labs.
This interview of Bob Lazar from 1997 is the most controversial of all, and it was removed from every social media site due to the claims he made about extraterrestrials. We were able to retrieve a few segments in which he clearly confessed to being involved in interdimensional activities. Look how he shared the story of getting a job offer to work on advanced propulsion systems, but the actual job was back engineering extraterrestrial craft.
The job I was employed to do was to back engineer extraterrestrial craft.
Bob saw his first extraterrestrial craft during his second or third visit to S4. At first, he believed it was a highly advanced U.S. aircraft, but after reading the documentation and looking inside, he realized it was not made on Earth.
Well, I did see it probably the second or third time I went out to the facility. This was a U.S.-made, very advanced next-generation fighter.
After this 1997 interview, Bob Lazar went silent, built a science supply company, and stayed away from cameras for years. Rumors say the government offered him protection and funding for his company, United Nuclear, in exchange for his silence. What do guys think about it? Are these rumors true, or is something bigger happening? Dr. John Blitch. Lieutenant Colonel Dr. John Blitch, a retired military officer and senior researcher at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, shared a personal experience during an interview with journalist Ross Coulthart. He described an encounter with a tall, praying mantis-like being in his bedroom. The colonel said this being was upset with him.
Tall, 7-ish foot praying mantis-looking being was upset with me. And again, I was terrified, frozen, paralyzed to the bed. And I got a male presence vibe from this being.
He related its actions to an experienced surgeon, and it even threatened him.
This body that you got, it is just a soul housing group. It's a brain housing group. It is just a machine that your soul occupies. Swap a couple of parts out, but we can't steal you. We can't steal your soul. We can't steal your consciousness.
It said that I can damage your physical body, but cannot do anything to your soul.
And I'm feeling this flesh, and the whole time he is conveying to me, see, we can't get your soul.
After this interview, many people doubted his mental well-being because the claims he made were all verbal. He did not have any visual proof for it, while some people who are deeply involved in UFO and extraterrestrial communities believe the possibility of such encounters. But we would like to hear it from you. What are your thoughts on it? Escaping. Next, we have this. Clifford Stone claims that he once helped an alien escape from a military facility. Stone explained that as an interfacer, he could feel the alien's emotions, and it was hard to handle.
That when this interfacing is taking place, all the emotions that they're feeling, you're feeling. The emotions that you're feeling.
Stone was taken to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, to meet an alien in military custody. He described the moment he made eye contact with the alien, who said, "I am afraid."
I'll never forget the words, "I am afraid." And I went ahead and said, as long as I'm here, no harm's going to come to you. And he says, "But harm's going to come to you and others in this room." I went ahead and said, "If you were outside, would that help?" And he said, if I was outside, then there was nothing.
Then Stone made a plan to help the alien escape and met the colonel.
I told the colonel that, he's wanting to show me something, but only me. Everyone else has to be back because anyone else is going to be in danger. So the colonel was hesitant first, but then he went ahead and told everyone to clear the building. As soon as everybody was out, the ET and I made a beeline to the back door. I'm cutting the wire to just make enough space for him to get out. And I was tearing my hands up doing it. I kept hearing people in the back hollering, "Halt, or we'll shoot, halt, or we'll shoot." And I was really waiting to die that night. I mean, I expected to get shot. When he went out, there was this bright light. There's no way I can describe it. It just shined down, then went back up.
After helping this alien, Stone told about his alien encounter in a press conference.
I could, but it would probably take a whole lot of time. The reason I state that, when I got out in 1989, we had cataloged 57 different species.
But this was a bad move for him because after this conference, the government was after him and threatened him to stop and not reveal any information. Otherwise, he would face consequences. Philip Schneider.
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in black budget programs, government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications. Self-taught metallurgist, became kind of famous in my own right.
Philip Schneider discussed his involvement in constructing deep underground military bases, or DUMBs, and described an incident in 1979 at the Dulce Base in New Mexico. For the last 2 years of his life, he gave lectures about government cover-ups, black budgets, and UFOs.
Black budget, for instance, garners $1.023 trillion every 2 years. It's over $500 billion a year. Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site, it used to be, it'd take a year to 2 years.
Then he told something even harder to process. The underground maglev trains moving at Mach 2 speed.
And now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague, Al Bielik, has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train.
Schneider's claims are highly controversial, but he was never able to prove his allegations, like the entrance to Dulce Base. They remained allegations without any solid proof. We have all seen interviews of people claiming they have met aliens or seen UFOs. Some sounds wild, some believable, but this next story is about a scientist who vanished, and what's chilling is that his disappearance was linked to actual extraterrestrial research. A scientist named Daniel Nemts, who was a Spanish inventor but was living in Colombia. He dedicated his career to how energy and matter interact with unknown dimensions, and created this device called energy vision that can capture interdimensional beings. He published his research online, which vanished from all online platforms. His social media accounts were also reportedly deleted between 2015 and 2018. And after that, scientists started studying the nature of these beings because this invention could transform fields like physics, cosmology, and biology. Along with this, it faced criticism in the scientific community, where scientists said that this device's images are distorted and have no solid proof. But Dr. Nemi shared the images of these beings that were unlike any human. They have long limbs and a different structural appearance. After posting these photos taken from Energy Vision, his work was censored and suppressed. He wanted to collaborate with scientists, but no one took him seriously, and it seemed like his invention was the reason for his disappearance. Maybe the government did not want him to proceed, so they vanished him. Well, I leave this to you guys to decide and share your thoughts about it in the comments below. And let's get back to our interviews. Major David Grush.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
We are not alone. Retired Major David Grush, a U.S. Air Force veteran, confirms for the first time on record that the U.S. government possesses craft of non-human origin. He clearly said, "We are not alone." Grush reveals that he was denied access to a classified crash retrieval program, and he also revealed the number of these crafts.
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was in fact a program that the UAP task force was not readied.
While talking about it, he avoids calling it alien and uses the term NHI, meaning non-human intelligence, and said he never saw the craft or beings personally.
You are alleging that the US government has been concealing the existence on this planet of alien life.
I would couch it as non-human intelligence, NHI, like we would like to say in our language.
Why do you say that? Why do you say NHI?
I don't want to necessarily denote origin. I don't think we have all the data to say, oh, they're coming from a certain location, and I couch it as somebody who studied physics where maybe they're coming from a different physical...
Grush says he's never personally seen non-human intelligence. But he's spoken to enough people directly involved in what he calls the program that he's convinced it's real.
He says the explanations given by skeptics don't hold up about these government-released UAP videos. Grush labeled the Tic Tac object recorded in 2004 as truly anomalous. He claimed that Russia and China are also retrieving UFO tech in secret.
He has even stronger opinions about this UAP, now known to history as the Tic Tac, shot in 2004 in the Pacific by aviators off the USS Nimitz.
And the Tic Tac?
Truly anomalous, absolutely technical vehicle, physical, and that's absolutely something that we didn't make.
There was something even bigger. He hinted at internal documents about risky agreements between humans and NHIs.
About his discoveries that refers to agreements that risk putting our future in jeopardy.
And after this interview, Grush vanished from the spotlight. No more updates, no public sightings. Did he speak too much? Or exactly enough? What do you guys think? Big revelations. Uri Geller, an Israeli-British illusionist, magician, television personality, and self-proclaimed psychic, spilled some real facts in this coming interview that was aired on a news channel. He discussed his involvement with the CIA's Project Stargate and said that he was tested by the CIA during the 1970s.
Let's roll back, Uri, to August 1973, which is 51 years ago this month. You were at SRI, Stanford Research Institute, in California doing experiments with Dr. Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ, where they were scientifically attempting to verify your paranormal perception abilities. And they did this under controlled scientific conditions. Do you recall those days?
Oh, absolutely. But I do have to backtrack a little back to Israel. You see, Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service, was very interested in my abilities, and they wanted to test me. But we're speaking about 1969. Mossad did not have the tools to test my brain. We're going back so many years. No tools to test Uri Geller. So what do? They call up the CIA and they ask for help. CIA is wow. We definitely want to test Uri Geller. Let's get into America.
Geller said that the CIA just showed a little piece of information, but he did unbelievable things there for the CIA, and still he was accused of doing improper things.
The video that SRI released, and the documents that were released to publication, that's, believe it or not, is a tiny piece, a tiny little experiment that they allowed to show. You have no idea. And I can't go there, but what else I've done there for the CIA.
They put you into an electronically shielded, isolated room, didn't they? It was essentially a Faraday cage, so there was no possibility of you being able to communicate with the outside.
Absolutely. You're right, Ross. You could not, this was such tight control conditions, there is no way that someone could cheat or... I mean, the things that they said about the shielded room were unbelievable. They even accused me, I think I have it here. They even accused me of having a transmitter up my tooth, believe it or not. Wait a minute, let me show it to you. By the way, I did not prepare all this. They are all around the area because this is my CIA Mossad area. Look, they claimed, and this comes from a very prestigious magazine called New Scientist. They claimed that I had a transmitter up my tooth and somebody was Morse coding me outside the shielded room. There was nobody anyone from my team outside the shielded room. How ridiculous. I mean, if I really had, Ross, a transmitter up my tooth, it would be a bigger phenomenon than bending spoons with the power of the mind, okay?
Then Geller came to other big things and said that he was told about a UFO that crashed on Earth, and they pulled out bodies of aliens. He also talked about spying in Mexico. Well, the project was eventually terminated in 1995 after evaluations questioned its efficacy. Geller faced criticism, but remained a prominent personality in the intersection of psychic abilities and intelligence work discussions. Dr. Michael Wolff. This short audio segment of the interview is about classified extraterrestrial knowledge, but it was presented in a rapid yes or no style, almost like a truth test. And what it revealed was unsettling. The person being questioned was the late Dr. Michael Wolff. As a MJ-12 member with the highest security clearance, he had access to top secret information concerning ET interactions with humans. Wolff wanted the truth about ET visitors to be known because he considered that we have the right to know. He started by telling how Air Force cadets are trained using official material.
Cadet Corps at the United States Air Force been instructed in their textbooks on how to deal with the ET situation.
Is there a face on Mars placed within the monument complex as reported by Richard Hoagland in his analysis of NASA photographs of Mars?
Are there bases on the moon?
Yeah.
Are there abandoned cities built by ET peoples on the moon? Are there ET mining operations on the moon?
There were.
Were Armstrong, Aldrin, Collins, and other astronauts warned away from the moon by ET forces?
Yes.
Did astronauts see flying saucers and bases on the moon?
Yes. Did saucers land at Holloman Air Force Base, witnessed by Gordon Cooper, the astronaut? Yes.
Frank.
Is it true that you have been cleared to the highest level security clearance and that you report to only one person and that person reports to no one?
Correct.
And is that person a extraterrestrial?
No.
Did President Clinton have anything to do with the publishing of this book?
Is Kolta the only ET visitor you have befriended in this lifetime?
After this disclosure, he claimed that government insiders warned him to stop talking publicly about ETs and his experiences. And then his health worsened quickly. Some believe it was natural, while others suspect he may have been targeted or given something to stop further revelations. His book, The Catchers of Heaven, was published, but it was poorly distributed and difficult to find. We managed to find it. This looked intentional to keep it out of public reach. Dr. Wolf passed away with very little public attention. Many who followed his work believe the timing of his demise was too convenient, and people started taking his claims seriously.